Just thought I would jump on here quick and do a quick video because I've been hearing this defund the police message over and over and over again. And abolish the police, defund the police, we're going to make the police smaller, all these different things. We're arresting police officers who, quite frankly, the officer involved in the shooting of Rayshard should not be getting... Firing him was questionable. People are calling for him to be arrested. The officer involved in the shooting of Breonna Taylor. Let me give you an analogy on that one. If you want to arrest the officer responsible for killing Breonna Taylor, then if you have an Air Force or a Navy pilot who is relying on the intelligence and the orders of his superiors, and when I say intelligence, I mean the information he's been given by his intelligence community, and he's following the orders of his superiors, and he goes and he drops a bomb somewhere, and the intelligence was wrong, and he ends up killing innocent civilians. Do you take that member of the armed forces and put him on trial for murder? The idea of that would be, just nobody would agree with that. Nobody would say that's what we should do. Oh, he dropped that bomb in the wrong spot. I don't care about the intel he was given. I don't care about the orders he was following. I'm going to charge him with murder. He's going to be my scapegoat. You would never do that. You would never say, I don't think any reasonable person would say that's what needs to happen. Why? Because we're going to say we're at war, and in wars, there's collateral damage. Now, this is not going to be popular. We're fighting a war on drugs. And Breonna Taylor is terrible, tragic collateral damage. If you want to blame the officer, that's fine. And the police are going to walk off the job, and you're going to be begging for law and order at some point. But the bottom line is, and the truth of this whole thing is we got to end the war. Because I don't want to accept collateral damage. I don't want that to be our legacy. I don't want that to be a thing that we've decided is okay, that we're going to kill innocent people to control human behavior. And the cry for the end of the war on drugs is getting louder and louder, and it doesn't seem like it's being heard. And we're scapegoating the police instead. I wonder why that would be. Who benefits from the war on drugs? Oh, the list goes on. And it's not us. It's not the citizens. It's not the people. We're not the ones benefiting. Who's benefiting? Drug cartels. Drug cartels have become complex, multi-billion-dollar international corporations. I'm sure none of their money makes it into our political system. I'm sure that we've never utilized drug cartel money to fund operations in the intelligence community. I'm sure that's never happened. I'm sure our government doesn't benefit from the incredibly high price of illegal drugs. I mean, why would you invade Afghanistan, the only country where you can grow the plant that creates the opium needed to make the opioid drugs for the pharmaceutical industry? I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. We'll set that aside. The drug cartels are irrelevant. How about the drug companies themselves? They make a ton of money prescribing opioid-based drugs, which are illegal for you to buy yourself. They also make a ton of money using these drugs, which are highly addictive and incredibly dangerous, as painkillers. Even though cannabis is also a painkiller, it's not addictive and it's non-lethal. You can't overdose on it. Well, maybe pharmaceutical companies. We know both political parties take massive amounts of money from pharmaceutical companies. Maybe, just maybe that has something to do with it. What about our for-profit prison system? What about the prisons that literally need bodies filling cells in order to make money? What about the big corporations that use slave labor because of the flaw in the 13th Amendment that allows criminals to be treated essentially as slaves? What about them? What is their motivation to end the war on drugs? Nobody in a position of power, nobody who is wealthy and in a position of power has any benefits in any way from ending the war on drugs. And that is all the way down to the police unions, all of it. The whole system, the war on drugs is a multi-billion-dollar industry in human suffering. So when we talk about the police and you want to scapegoat the police department, that's being fed to you. That this is a police problem. That's corporate media feeding you information. That is your politicians feeding you information. The same politicians who are taking money from those pharmaceutical companies are telling you that the problem is the police. It's not the police, it's the laws that they passed. That's the problem. But man, we don't want to look at that. So here's what's going to happen. We are going to start blaming the police. We're going to scapegoat them. We're going to defund them. The police departments are going to get smaller. They're going to have less resources. And nobody remembers their history. So we're not going to look back to the early 80s, right? And look at what the homicide rate was in this country then. We're not going to look at the fact that black, white, Democrat, Republican, people were crying out for law and order, for enforcement. We're not going to look at that. Nah, we're not going to look at that. We're going to say this is a police problem. And we're going to leave all those same laws in place. And guess what's going to happen when the police disappear? When they pull away, when they pull back? We're going to, 10 years, 15 years at the top, at the most, we're going to be asking once again, hey, we need more money for police. We need more police on the street, because we'll forget where we are today. And we'll say, oh my goodness, we need more police on the street, because all those same laws exist. So we'll return right back to that same cycle. And nobody's seeing it. Nobody's paying attention to that. The issue, you can't fix this issue from the police department up. You got to fix it from the top down. You've got to change the laws. You've got to adjust the system. You've got to end the war on drugs. You've got to reduce the number of police we need to enforce the laws that we have, so that only the best people, only the best applicants, only the top police on the job get to keep working. Only the top people who apply for the position of a police officer, only the best people who want to put that badge on actually get to wear it. And until you fix the laws, until you fix the system, you can't reduce the number of police. And nobody's seeing it. So I just wanted to get this out. I was not planning on doing a video. I didn't even turn my lights on. So I'm sorry if the video looks, the lighting's not great or whatever, but I just wanted to get this out because we're missing a huge moment here where we have a chance to make real change, and nobody's talking about it. The truth of the matter is I vote Libertarian. I have no interest. I have no dog in the fight when it comes to the Democrat and Republican issues. I don't care who wins. It doesn't bother me. Whatever. Nothing significant is going to change. Nothing significant has changed no matter who's been president of the United States. Nothing's going to change no matter who wins the next upcoming election. Anybody who believes differently is living in a fantasy land. But I am voting Libertarian. I'm going to keep voting Libertarian. I'm going to keep encouraging people to learn about Joe Jorgensen and learn about the Libertarian Party. The only party that's actually calling for the change we need is the Libertarian Party.